Section 2.1 is a pretty short one. We're talking about line graphs and bar graphs. First of all, a type of line graph, a frequency polygon, is a line graph where a point is placed in the midpoint of each interval at heights equal to the frequency. Typically, the points are connected with straight lines to emphasize the distribution of the data. So I'm going to show you how to do a frequency polygon. Here's an example that we had, draw a frequency polygon for the cost of textbooks given in example 118. And notice we've got a table already given to us. Now, one thing I do want to mention is the way they found the midpoints was different than what we talked about in the last class, but we're going to go and just go through and use the midpoints that they've given us because it's convenient with the table that we have here. So the first thing we're going to do is we already have the midpoints and the frequency. We're just going to put it on the graph. So 160 is going to go with 4. 200 is going to go with 1. 240 is going to go back up to 4. 280 is going to go up to 6. 320 is going to go up to 10. That's all the way up at the top. Then 360 is back down to 6. 400 is down to 2. Whoops, that's not very close, but anyway, 2. And then 440 is up to 3. Now, the one other thing that you have to understand about a frequency polygon is it always starts and ends at 0. So if you go back, notice these are going by 40s. The previous midpoint of the previous class would be 120, and that has no elements in it. So 120 would have to be a 0. And then after the 440, the next one would be 480, and that one would also have 0 elements in it. And so that's going to be right there. And so when we do this, we have to start at 0 and end at 0. And on the homework, what you're going to do is you're going to go from that 0 point at the beginning, and you're going to make your line go up to there. Then you're going to make your line go down to there, and then up to there, all the way up to 10, back down to 6, down to there, 2, 3, and then back down to 0. So that's going to be what our frequency polygon looks like. But again, to get all the points on the computer, you're going to need to make sure that you start at 0 and then go all the way through and then end at 0. But that's all there is to making a frequency polygon. So pretty easy. Next, we have a bar graph, and a bar graph is a graph that displays a rectangular bar for each category where the length of the bar indicates the frequency. So we're dealing a lot with frequency in this these sections. There is a horizontal and vertical axis. The horizontal axis lists the categories, and the vertical axis lists the frequencies. So we're going to make a bar graph. And again, if you have the old notes, I changed this example. Oh, and I forgot to update it again. I actually changed it again. And I forgot to change it on here. So let me change this on here right away. So this one is going to be coupe. We're going to go type of cars. Then we have a sedan with 4 doors, because I want this to be groups and not numbers to be confusing. And then we're going to say this last one's going to be pickups. Okay, so we're going to put these on our graph here, and I'm going to let coupes go here in the first group. And then sedan is my second category, and then pickup is my third category. And when I number these, I'm going to number them, since we have to get all the way up to 245, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go by 50s here. So I'm going to make my first line here 50, then 100, then 150, 200, and 250. And that way we'll get all of those frequencies in our grouping. So the first one, the coupes, that goes up to 162. So I'm going to estimate my 162 is going to be about right there. So I'm going to make my bar come up and over to the 162. And if you want to just make a note that it's 162 to help you remember, that's fine. Looks like my bar got a little bit narrow there, but that's okay. Next, the sedans. The sedans get up to 245. That's going to be almost up to the top there. So I'm going to put a little mark there. And I'm going to try and go straight up here as much as possible, and then go across, and then go straight up here also, And that would be our bar 140 or 245 for the sedans. And then finally, we're going to have a bar for the pickup, so that's much lower. It's closer to 50, which is going to be somewhere right about there, might be a little higher. So we're going to go up and over, and that was 48. And so that's how we would do our bar graph for those types of vehicles. So coupe, sedan, and pickup, and that would be our bar graph. And again, on the computer, I think they have just like a line you grab and you move it up to the right height. You're not going to have to write 162 and 245 and 48 above it. You just take the lines and move them where they need to be so the bar gets to be the correct height. That is the end of section 2.1, and you're going to have 9 problems there. Actually, there might be 10. I have to double check. But anyway, something around there. But just do the problems on the assignment, the homework. And that is, again, if you have questions and want to ask me something, make sure you send me an email or send me a message so that I can help you out with that.